I liked it as a holodeck episode too. That feels like a smart take on a holodeck to dump everything that you know about people's personalities into a computer and then play it off like it's the real world. It's not like it's unheard of, but in things like Hollow Pursuits, where Barclay recreates the crew and it's revealed that this is like a huge social faux pas to replicate people that you know on the holodeck in the 24th century. That was treated as more of a he was being weird with them, like this is, I guess this is still weird, but this is like less weird. Although they make fun of it as Mariner is very open to, I think we had this discussion on the Hollow Pursuits with Sean, where Mariner is very into killing them in the holodeck, and because she recognizes that it's not real. And I think we had the same debate about whether or not you should feel bad if you kill someone on the holodeck, and the argument is just like, well, they're not really them. So I'm just kind of working through things on this. But I thought it was clever. They did something with the holodeck that they've never really done before, I don't think, which is to... I don't think there's probably 50 episodes in Voyager where they do it, but to treat the holodeck as a therapy session is interesting. Hollow Pursuits is the opposite, where he was using it to amplify his
perviness.
Yeah, his sickness, I guess, if you want to go that way, like his sort of deficiency. This is the opposite, where she's using it indirectly to solve herself because the therapist, who has a weird joke about making food references, can't get the job done.
Yeah, I think she goes into it intending to use it more like Barclay does, but she ultimately backs herself into therapy. Yeah. I really enjoyed the skeet shooting with Da Vinci. I thought that was fun. And
I like the button that closes it too. He shoots.
Yeah, I love the callback at the end, even though that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I really like that.
What does he say? Not today, or something. Not Da Vinci's day, or something like that. He shoots Spock getting out of the photon torpedo at the very end.
I had a question. I apologize if everybody's going to scream at me because I'm not remembering an episode where they did this, but have they ever done an episode across Star Trek where where someone has been trapped in a holodeck for like 50 years?
Not that I can think of, like in a program, like sitting in a program for a long time, or just stuck in the...
Yeah, like they get locked. I'm thinking. I just watched Inception recently, and so I was thinking of like, well, what if someone got stuck in the holodeck and they just get stuck in this program that's like glitching out or something? So they're living this entire life in the holodeck, and then ultimately they come out and are brought back into the real world and just have to, like they've been married or something and they had to kill people or something. And they've been in there so long, they forgot that it's a computer program.
Right. No, I don't think they've ever done that. Interestingly, I guess you'd have to come
really
around.
Surprised.
You certainly couldn't do it on a ship because someone would go, "Why is the holodeck been locked for a week now?
Well,
like, what's going on?" Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like, okay, take any ship in the fleet. There's a guy in the holodeck, and then while he's in the holodeck, the ship gets attacked and the ship gets blown up and scuttled or whatever. But that section of the ship is still working. So he's stuck in there. And so maybe he's got to stay in there because if he comes out, then he'll get sucked into space or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that they've never done that. And so then eventually, the Enterprise or whoever shows up to get this guy out,
he's all Wolfman.
Yeah. He's like a drug cartel leader, and then he gets pulled back in the 1950s or something, and then he gets pulled back into the 23rd century and stuff. That would be kind of fun.
It's that what's that girl? There's a famous documentary about it.
If I ever write a Star Trek comic, that's the story I'm going to do.
The easy way around it would just be you wouldn't even have to be trapped in it. It's just they find someone who has isolated themselves on a planet and built a personal holodeck to sort of kind of get into their version of the Nexus almost. It's like a realistic version of their perfect universe, and they break him out and the difficulty he has of readapting to non-heaven, basically, by coming back into the real world would be something interesting. They've never done that, I don't think. Not sure why.